Would you like it? Well, I could read the very last then. The first reading I gave was the beginning of this ceremony where they asked the gods for rain. Perhaps I could give the ending of it.
That'd be great.
And you get to read the stuff in
and
between.
And at what stage, what time frame did this event take place?
This was first week of January, I think around the 6th of January of 1999.
So after they've moved?
No, they're still
in.
in the old town.
And this is a time when we were still relatively new to the culture, and Larry was a skeptic.
I'm very skeptical of religion and spirituality, that sort of thing in general, but I was especially so in those days. The ceremony lasted for many hours. They begged the gods for rain. The wind was blowing from the wrong direction, and so they had to ask the Pachamama to change the wind direction. The sky was absolutely clear, not a cloud. I'm not making this up. By the end of the ceremony, the sky was completely black, and the wind was coming out of the south from where it's supposed to be. And I was rather shocked. The wind picked up, blowing strong and cold, scattering a few coca leaves across the rocky slope. We did nothing to stop them, only saying, "More for the Pachamama." Don Juan, the old man, pulled on his staff, El Rey, to help him rise and began his slow walk back to the village, striking rocks along the way as he chanted in Quechua. Karen put her arm around me and pointed up into the sky. We were below the pregnant belly of a heavy black cloud. Droplets of moisture flew in the air. The wind had shifted to come from the south. "Well, Mr. Scientist, what do you think of that?" she said. Interesting. Of course, it could be just a coincidence. You couldn't admit that it might be the ceremony. A look of victory was on her face. Yeah, she had scored a touchdown, all right. Okay, I grant you, it is pretty amazing. But in science, we are trained that the right answer is often the simplest. Therefore, coincidence. Why not? It seems just as simple to me, she said, that we could assume the Pachamama heard their prayers. Maybe. Now, if they did this ceremony 10 times in a row and it rained each time, then perhaps I could say there was something to it. But I'll bet it doesn't work that way. However, that night, it did not rain. The Pachamama meant exactly what she had said. Although she teased us with the darkening sky, the extra prayers did not change her mind. Those black clouds were impostors with hearts full of wet promise, but empty of intent, rewarding the faithful not with abundant rains, but with the suffering of 2 years of sustained drought. A time when llama, vicuna, sheep, and alpaca died by the thousands. Hunger stalked not only the isolated ranches huddled around their withering springs, but also crept inexorably like a death shroud to smother the smaller villages. Graveyards filled, villagers were abandoned, and their gods, if they existed at all, either were too busy or simply didn't give a damn. I suppose I was assured that my doubts about God and prayer were vindicated, that the people's foolish myths kept them poor and backward. I could have gone to their church and laughed in the face of their impotent saints. I could have urged my friends to finally escape their poverty by giving up these gods and superstitions and adjust to the modern world. I could have laughed at them all. I could have, but did not. There was no comfort in it. I wanted them to be right.